Hey guys, it's Lene with Charmed and Dangerous. I am back in my bathroom, if you guys can tell. I wanted to do a different kind of video today. So I would still say it's kind of like a beauty related kind of thing. But sorry, my hair's like on my nerves. Today's video is basically all about ear care when you have plugs. So I know that not everyone has their ears gauged, but I have seen a couple people who have commented on my plugs, what size I was, one person in particular, and I will link her name down below. I don't know if she has like a channel where she does videos or she just watches, but a shout out to you because you are the first person who has really mentioned my plugs and said that you like them. So you actually inspired this video. So yay. So I'm kind of going to go through like everyday care, every week care, just kind of like general caring for your plugs, and then also give you some tips for any kind of like infections or anything. I know that sounds like really gross, but we'll get into it and I'll explain to you why I'm doing both. So I want to do a quick disclaimer. I am in no way a professional at all. I know absolutely nothing except for what really worked with me, what really helps me, what keeps my ears clean, what, you know, helped me when I did go through a kind of gross little phase there that I will explain to you guys in a second. This is just really what helped me, what I kind of researched on. So this may not work for everybody. This is not like a one-stop shop. This is not like the only way that you can care for your ears or the only way that you can kind of get them back to normal if you've had a little bit of an infection. Not the only way. There are probably dozens and tons of ways out there. This is just really what worked for me. So since I do rock the gauges and I love them, and I'm a big fan of the hole in my ears, even though a lot of people aren't a big fan of them, I am. I'm a big fan of the holes in my ears. I love them. It's something that I wanted to do for years and years and years and years, and I just never had the guts to do until one day I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So if you're interested in just kind of general care and then maybe some tips and tricks on if you're having a little bit of issues with your plugs, then I will share all of that with you. So if you want to see that, stay tuned. Okay. So first I'm going to start with a little bit of a backstory. It's not even crazy long. I just gauged, I want to say it was like a year ago, I think. I wanted to do it since I was like 16, but I just never did. So at the age of like 27, 28, I decided I'm going to gauge my ears, you know. But I had a little bit of trouble at one particular size. So it went pretty fast. I've had my ears pierced since I was like, you know, 6 months old or something like that. My mom got my ears pierced. So when I started out, I didn't have to start out like really small. Like I didn't have to do like the really small one. I think I started at like a 12. Most people start at like a 16 or they have like a 14. I bought the 14s. They slipped right through and that was wasting my money. It was sad. But I started at a 12 and kind of went up from there. When I got into the higher numbers, I would say like the 4 and then the 2, especially when I got to a 2. I'm at a 0 now, by the way. So I don't know if you can see that. They look smaller than they are. I wear these particular plugs, and I will tell you why I wear these, the screw plugs. I'll go through that too. But I'm at a 0 now. When I hit that like 2 stage, that like 4 to 2 stage, I had a lot of trouble stretching my ears, and I almost kind of gave up at that point and stayed at those stages, but I really wanted to go to a 0 because I really liked the bigger look. I won't go more than a 0 though, because I want my ears to be able to close back up in case I decide when I'm 40 I don't want big holes in my ears anymore. But I had a little bit of trouble. There was one point where one of my ears, I believe it was this one here, got a little bit of a crazy infection in it. I wasn't really taking care of them. My fiance will jokes that the underside of my ear looked like a nasty vajayjay, and it did. It was gross and it hurt. I couldn't sleep on that side, and at that point I was almost like, oh my god, screw it, I'm going to take them out. But I found some care that really worked for me, some things that really kind of helped me bounce back from that, and then also just general care. So what you're going to need generally to clean yours, we're just going to go through general, and I have not done mine for a couple of days. I usually do every other day or every like 2 or 3 days, something in there, and then I do like a deep cleaning once a week. So usually every other day I will take a Q-tip, because you're going to need a Q-tip and you're going to need some alcohol, and then some other essentials like optionals that I will show you. But I usually take a Q-tip and I just dip the Q-tip in my alcohol, a big old thing of alcohol here, and I take that Q-tip and I just kind of run it around the top here, and then I run it like around the bottom. And that's kind of like an every other day, quick, just kind of cleaning. Once a week though, which is what I'm going to actually show you guys now, I do a cleaning where I take everything out. Then I also clean my second hole. I will zoom through that because nobody cares about my second hole, but I do like a more of a deep cleaning. So you're still going to need the same thing. You're going to need some Q-tips and you're going to need some alcohol, and then you're just going to need like a little washcloth because you are going to set your plugs, gauges, whatever on this when you're done. So I feel like this just really helps me. The alcohol really gets it clean. Also, when I do wash my hair, I have antibacterial soap in the shower. I either take them out or I leave them in, but I do squirt some of that on there and I clean them with that as well. It's not always on the same day. Sometimes it falls on the same day, sometimes it doesn't. But if I don't have time to like do that, or I forget to do that, I always do a deep cleaning of my ears once a week. So I'm going to take this side out, just going to kind of show you my hole. I know some of you people are going to be like, ah, you're watching this just because it's on here and you're intrigued and you're probably going to be grossed out. So disclaimer, I'm sorry, I have a hole in my ear. I don't know what you want me to do. So I'm going to take it out. I'm going to show you how I really like clean the plugs, how I clean my ears, what I use to put it back in, all of that kind of stuff. So I have the twisty ones where, let me plug out my sink. I'm always like terrified that I'm gonna like drop it in there because this is like the only pair that I have for right now. I have the twisty ones where the back just like twists off, and if you can see, it's gross. I waited to do this for this video. There, I don't know if you can tell, my camera's gonna zoom, there's gunk on there like, oh, for days. It's so gross. And it does, it builds up. Just like your inside of your ears get waxy, the stuff builds up, especially if you're wearing like makeup. So I know like I'll be doing my makeup and I'll hit my, plugs with it, and I get a lot of makeup buildup as well on my plugs. So basically what I do is I just take my alcohol, pour a little bit into the cap, or a lot and you spill it. That's cool too. We're messy here. And I kind of clean as I'm taking them out. So I've just screwed the back off. So the back is going to be the first thing I clean. I just dip my Q-tip in alcohol and I just kind of take that, I douse it in there. I do it really well. And I'm just taking it and I'm just like rubbing it all over the back of that. Also get into the threads. So if you are wearing the screwy kind like I am, you want to make sure that you get into the threads of that. There's little threads here like on the inside. Oh, I know my nail's blocking it. Little threads are on the inside. You want to make sure you get in there too because that gets dirty as well. And you want to make sure you really deep clean everything. So I just wipe it all down. I make sure all of the gunk and all the nastiness is off. And then I set it on my, washcloth. I just set it on my washcloth and kind of let it air dry. The next stage, I'm just going to pull out my plug and I'll show you this. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't, but there's a lot of buildup, especially in this little crevice, like up here. I get a lot of buildup on my plugs, and even like on the front. These are like a blue kind of shimmer. They're like matte because I have makeup on there. So I basically do the same thing. I take the other side of the Q-tip, I douse it really, really well, and I just make sure that I get everything. And you want to make sure that you do get into that little crevice up in here, because there's going to be a lot of gunk stuck in there, and you want to make sure that you're getting it all, you're getting everything off, you're getting the entire plug clean. And I will insert a video. I'm going to do both ears, so I'm just going to kind of talk you through this one, but I will insert a video here once I get to the other ear of you actually being able to see me do this cleaning process. So I will move the camera and go through that. And then also make sure you get in the hole there. So I'm just going in the middle in the hole, especially if you're wearing makeup and things like that, because a lot of buildup happens there in that hole, at least for me. If you're wearing the regular ones that just kind of slip in, you basically do the same thing. Oh, see, I dropped it. That's why I plug up my sink. Plug up your sink. Tip number one if you're doing this in the bathroom. Because the last thing you want to do if you have one pair like me that you wear, I have more than one pair, I just always wear these, you don't want to drop it down the sink. So I just clean that and then set that on my washcloth. And then I just dispose of that Q-tip. The next thing that I do is I'm going to clean my actual ear. So here's the hole in my ear. Yeah, I know, it's great. It's awesome. There's the hole in my ear. And mine, it's not infected, it just looks like this is what it looks like. I know I never take them out. I probably should take them out and let them air, but I don't, because my ears close up like really, really quick. So if I was like take them out for an evening, I would have a hell of a time trying to get them back in there. So I basically am just going to clean that again, dipping a Q-tip in the alcohol. I go over the top first, and then I do the underside, and I'm just like wiping it on there really good. I'm going to take the other side, dip it generously in my alcohol, and I do the middle. So I just go in, I stick that Q-tip in my ear, and I run it around in the hole there. And then I take another Q-tip and I do the same thing just to make sure that they're nice and clean. Go over the top and the underside, making sure you're getting everything. And you can use a cotton ball for this as well, because it's easier to get a more surface area. I just don't use, I prefer the Q-tips because I use the cotton balls to take off my nail polish. So I don't want to waste them. Twirl that around in there. And there you pretty much have it. I'm just going to real quick pop out my second hole, because when I do this, I clean my second hole in that earring as well. I just kind of do a one-stop shop for everything. So I'm just going to pop this out. And this is like really quick. I just run that over there and I run that on the back. And that's pretty much the gist of that. So after you kind of have them clean, putting them back in sometimes can be a little challenging, especially if you have ears like mine who just like, they naturally just like want to close up, or if you're kind of new to it and you haven't had them at the particular size that you're at for an extended period of time. Even like, you know, if you take them out and you're like, oh, I'm going to go get a drink, or I'm going to go have a cigarette, or oh, my phone rang, you have a conversation, you'll notice that sometimes they close up just a little bit. It's not going to close up a major amount, but it might be a little tough to get them back in. So the one thing that I do to help with that and also help with conditioning is I use vitamin E oil. You can get this at the drugstore. You can get this at Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, Target. They have it everywhere. Family Dollar, I think, has it. I use this, and I put that directly on my ear when I'm putting them back in. Not only is it going to help the plugs go in, but it's also really going to condition your ear. This is one of the things that I used when my ear got infected. I'm going to go into greater detail on that in a second, but this is one of the things that I use to really, really help me. So basically what I do is I take a Q-tip and I just drop some product on the Q-tip there. I don't know if you guys can see me doing that. Drop some product on the Q-tip, and I run that over my ear. I'm just doing my second hole too, inside and underneath really quickly. Pop in this bad boy before I forget. I can never find this like little hole now. I'm so used to having these big holes that like when I do my second one, it's so small that I'm always like fumbling. So I'm just gonna pop this bad boy in because I definitely have to keep an earring in this hole because my second piercing is fairly new. So basically you have your ear all lubed up. You're just going to take your plug and you're just going to push it back in. Make sure that if you're wearing the threaded ones that it is all the way in. So when you go to put the back on, that you're not like pinching your ear. And then you're going to put the back on with the threaded ones. There's one side that looks more flat. And then there's one side that has kind of like a divot in it. The divot is the part that you want to put on the other side of the plug. Because if you try to do the other part, it'll be a pain in the ass to screw on, and then you risk them kind of getting stuck and you'll never get the fuckers out. So I just twist it on there, make sure it's nice and tight, and then I just turn it. And that's pretty much it. I do that once a week, and then I just do the general alcohol kind of every other day. And the antibacterial soap when I wash my hair once a week as well. Sometimes on the same day, sometimes not. I'm going to insert a clip somewhere in this general time frame of me actually cleaning the plug from the other ear because I'm about to do that for you guys. So stay tuned, watch that, and then we'll jump right back. And I'll just give you some tips on care if you're kind of getting an infection and things aren't really good. Clip of me doing the cleaning process. It's very very fun. I know, it's exciting. If you're having some issues and if you're having a little bit of infection like I had with this ear when I went 2 of 2, it hurt, it was painful, it looked gross, it was nasty. Ugh. One of the things that helped me was cleaning every day. So I really had to get in the mindset that I needed to clean every day because I had been neglecting it. That's why the infection set in the first place, because I hadn't been cleaning it. Considering I was stretching my ear, I was going a size up. I should have been taking better care of my ears at the time. So when you're at any point in time, but especially when you're moving up a size, when you're stretching, and then right after you stretch for a good period of time, you really want to pay attention to your ears. You really want to take care of them. You do not want to neglect them. You don't want to run around for 2 weeks and not clean them. Nasty stuff is going to set in there, and since you are in the stretching process, your ears are going to be more sustainable to getting an infection. But if you already got one, the thing that helped me was cleaning every day. So basically this process that I just did for you, I did every single day. The first infection, probably for the first 3 days, I did it twice a day. I did it once in the morning and once in the evening, really just to make sure that I was killing all the bacteria. I was using the alcohol. I was really, really cleaning. After the first couple days, I just started doing it once a day, usually before I went to bed. I would take it all out, do this whole process, clean everything off, make sure my ear was nice and cleaned. And I will say that if you have an infection in there, the alcohol is going to burn. It's going to hurt, it's going to sting, it's going to be painful, and you're going to be like, at least that's what I did. It's going to hurt, it's not going to feel good. It's just not, because your ear is infected. Just like if you get a scrape like on your leg and you go to pour alcohol on it, that shit is going to burn because you have like an open sore-ish kind of thing. You know what I mean? You're cleaning out the infection. You're trying to stop the infection. You're trying to get rid of it. Alcohol burns. It burns. If your skin is not, perfectly like healthy, like this didn't burn at all. But if I would have had an infection there, it's going to burn, it's going to hurt. So disclaimer on that. Don't think that, when you put it on there, it burns. You're like, oh my God, it's going to burn. It's rubbing alcohol. That's what it does. So do that every day. When you have done that and when you go to put your plugs back in, me and my fiance used a mixture of things. So we have a container with the mixture in it, but I'm just going to show you the 2 products. I have the vitamin E oil. This really helped to keep my ears moisturized. It helped my production of like oils. So sometimes when you stretch your ear, if it gets infected, your ear's not making those natural oils and your ear's getting really, really dry. This helped really moisturize my ear, really make those natural oils, and helped the plug go back in a little bit smoother, considering there was some pain in there. I had an infection in there. It didn't feel good to take the plug in and out. It hurt like shit, but I knew I had to do it. So this helped. The other thing that really helped was tea tree oil. Now these 2 things, this moisturizes, this dries out. So definitely use these 2 things together if you're having trouble, because you don't want to just use this and then it's going to dry your ear out, kind of like the alcohol does, and it's going to be it's going to be real painful to get it back in. But this is like an antibacterial. This is really, really, people use this on acne. People use this on everything. This shit is great. It's expensive and it stinks. Oh, it's so strong and it's so gross and it makes me nauseous. But it really helps and it really works. After about a week, I noticed that the infection had really, really gone down significantly. I had a little bit of kind of inflammation on the back, but I didn't have any more pain. I could sleep normally, nothing else hurt. And I just kind of kept that up for about like 2 weeks. And then I switched to taking out the tea tree oil, using just the vitamin E. After about a week of that, then I kind of switched to this process that I do now. Deep clean once a week and really running that Q-tip with alcohol around it every other couple days just to make sure that you're getting it nice and clean. The other tip that I can say is do not use hydrogen peroxide. Just don't do it. A lot of people, when you see people have like those like weird scars like on their ear, like where their earrings were, hydrogen peroxide makes the skin like bubble up and it's going to give you this nasty scar. Do not use peroxide. At least that's what I'm telling you. If you want to use peroxide, go right on ahead. Somebody might tell you use peroxide. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't suggest that you use peroxide. I definitely suggest that you use alcohol. So that was kind of the general gist of it. I don't know if I missed anything. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will answer from my personal experience. Any questions on my size plugs, pain when I gauged. If any of you guys want to know any of that, I can do a more in-depth video on that. This was just more like a care video, really trying to show you how to care for your ears and how important it is to really like keep your ears healthy and care for your ears, because if not, you're going to get an infection and it's going to hurt and it's going to be nasty and it's not cute, and it didn't feel good, and it was terrible. Don't let that happen to yourself, and if you have let it happen, try these tips out and let me know how they went. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you're feeling it and you loved it. Subscribe, hit that button if you want to see more videos in the future, and ask me anything that you want. Don't be afraid to put anything in the comments that you're feeling, and I will see you guys soon in another video. Bye.